A lot of time, the most important lessons that we needed to learn from life and what exactly we needed to value throughout our life, we actually don't end up learning those things until it is our time to basically go. And I think that rings true for basically everybody. I think even for myself, I do think that I'm not learning the important lessons that I should be learning right now in my youth. And I'm probably going to end up regretting that later on. So, what can we do about that? What lessons do we exactly need to learn from life itself in our youth so we can actually maximize our life and the time that we're given on this world? I was recently listening to the My First Million podcast, and Scott Galloway actually came along with there. And there was a very small segment within that podcast in which he talked about the regrets of people who were just in hospice care. And basically, hospice care is a place where you kind of just rest until you pretty much pass away. And the top three regrets that he made and he mentioned, I'm going to talk about in this episode right here. And I'm going to get started because I do feel like that these are very good lessons that if we internalize, I do think we can definitely change the trajectory of our life itself. The very first thing that he mentioned was that people always regretted not staying in touch with their friends. Now, I do think that this applies to your family, your relatives, and your loved ones just in general. People, as they grow older and they have their own families and they start to have kids and they become very preoccupied in building their businesses or maybe even advancing in their careers, obviously one of the things that suffers because of that is your friendships. And people end up regretting not staying in touch with their friends or not seeing their loved ones as much. Now, obviously, the remedy to that is obviously make sure you're spending enough time with your friends. Make sure you're going out with the boys. Make sure you're spending time with your parents, with your loved ones, because your time is very limited. And you want to make sure that whenever you're old and you're sick, if you have that much life in the first place, that these people actually come and visit you. Because if you don't keep good relationships with them right now while everything is good, everything is healthy, everything is fine, then they're not going to come to you in your time of need, in your time of hardship. The second thing that he mentioned was people regret living a life based on what their parents wanted and what society wanted from them. And they didn't live a life based off of what they wanted to accomplish. I do think that this rings true for a lot of people, especially because we have so much pressure from society, from our parents, from our loved ones, from all these different peoples that have their expectations on us. But sometimes we need to make sure that we also go ahead and make sure that we are following our passions, following our dreams, following our goals, and doing whatever we think that is right for us and makes us happy as well. I don't necessarily think that these people are evil and they want terrible things for us. No, I think that a lot of these people that love us, they put these expectations on us and want us to do certain things because they love us. But at the end of the day, sometimes it really just comes down to making your own decisions so you can be happy with your life. So if you want to build something, go ahead. It's one of the reasons why I'm pursuing building this YouTube channel as well. It's a very personal thing to me because I feel like I want to do it. It's something that I always wanted to do when I was a kid. So now as an adult, I have the resources to actually pursue this. So I'm doing my best to cut out time to actually do all of this. And the last regret that he mentioned was that people always wished that they weren't so hard on themselves. I personally really need to take this lesson because I'm pretty hard on myself, especially when I fail and especially when things go wrong. And if I could have done something better about it, then I'm pretty hard on myself. I'm hard on myself on a very day-to-day basis as well. And I do think that potentially down the line, I am going to regret that, but the reason why I try to justify it, at least in my head, is that I'm hard on myself because I have high standards, because I have high goals, and I want to make sure that I actually go ahead and do everything in my power to achieve those goals. But it is something that we need to learn. I need to learn it, maybe you do as well, that we should not be so hard on ourselves and beat ourselves up for the failures that we encounter in our life, because you're going to fail. It's a non-negotiable thing that people just kind of have to go through, and it's okay. Everybody's gonna fail once in a while, and you need to take that. You need to take life in stride, and you need to just keep on chugging along. And those are the 3 regrets of people in hospice care. I'm going to quickly go over them once again. Number 1 was people wish that they stayed in touch with their friends. Number 2, people wish that they lived the life that they wanted to live and not the life that society wanted them to live or their parents wanted them to live. And number 3, people always wish that they weren't so hard on themselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on my YouTube channel, because it means the absolute world to me. Thank you guys so much for the support. This was episode number 95 of the Daily Lessons podcast, and this is Yusha signing out. Bye, guys.